This was my first attempt at concrete dry pour, and I'm not a concrete guy. I've helped my buddy do concrete. He owns a concrete company, so I do have some experience, but I am not a concrete guy. That said, my finished product is not as pretty as you might want to, or your walkway. It's not a finished to perfection product. This is going to be where I put my metal fire pit on top of it. There's my old circular fire pit. I detached the other day, so all that dead grass I had to burn. So currently my metal fire pit is over there in the yard. Usually I use barrels, 55-gallon drums. Used to use the metal ring or the metal circular ring or the square, I don't know if that's called a ring also, to burn. And I would always burn on the grass, on the ground itself. So this whole area has always been demolished. In the fall, I burn all the leaves that fall. When I detach, when I cut grass, I always just burn it. City ordinance, they allow us to burn it. But I wanted a better burn process and the ability to get rid of old ashes. So I figured why not try to make a concrete slab using the dry pour technique. So therefore, turn if it's not the prettiest, but I think it will absolutely serve its purpose. And if it doesn't, if it cracks up, if it breaks on me, I think right now this is probably about $150 worth of concrete plus my hours of labor and da 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 da. I get it. But for right now, I think it'll definitely serve its purpose, a clean, dry place to burn things. And when I'm done, I can just blow the ashes into the grass because ashes are good for your grass. For the nice nights where we do some bonfire type fire pit activities, it'll be a nice place. It's 8x8. There's my metal framing. There's the leftover concrete. I might try to do another slab for another project, but for right now, I'm going to say I'm happy with what it is. It'll serve the purpose for what it is. A nice, clean, dry place to burn on top of. So I promise you, once I start burning and blowing ashes, you won't even see this finish. But again, for right now, I halfway tried to put the mortar over the top. So there are some places that are very smooth where it was mortar. And then there are some places where you see a lot of stone exposed because I was trying to cover that at the last minute and I didn't do it properly. It didn't turn out properly. That's okay. This edge looks a little funky, but that's okay. That's the edge. So the concrete didn't settle very well over here when it was dry, but that's okay. Even if this corner breaks off, that's all right. I'll just backfill it with dirt. You won't see it. I'm going to backfill with dirt regardless, but if it breaks off in due time, so be it. My edges as a whole are not the prettiest. I'm not a concrete guy, and again, it's just for fire pit place, so that's okay. Pointing to you guys all the flaws. Look, huge chip just came off. That's okay. This looks like this was the mortar mix on top of the actual concrete that I use. That's okay. It doesn't have to be pretty. So I'm showing you the flaws purposely because they are here. When I was trying to take this stake out, I made a mistake and cracked the edge. That's okay. You won't see it when it's backfilled with dirt. The main thing, the good thing is it dried. Sorry for the sunlight. You can't really see. Camera's not really picking it up. But again, you guys trust me. So it dried. It looks like a finished solid product. I can still see a few places where it looks like moisture needs to escape. But now that I've removed the form, more moisture can't escape. The big thing is this is solid. This is hard. There's still an opportunity for it to crack up. The heat from the fire in the fire pit, that's going to have some impact. Of course, winter heat thaw cycle, that's going to have some impact. But for a first try at an uncommon process, dry pour concrete, I say I'm happy. And for it just to be something that's intended to be used and abused, burned on top of, I'll say I'm happy. Would I do my own driveway with this? I wouldn't, because you want your driveway to have a nice finish, or nice pretty finish. Would I do my garage on this? Probably not. Would I do my shed on this? Maybe, because again, I might be doing another project. So I'm gonna say success for strength, It's only 3 days old. I'll be hard on myself and say D- on the finish. That's okay. It was my first time. The process works. If you want to do some little concrete walking path, paver stones or whatever, go for it. I think the smaller the project is, the better your results may be until you get better. I did an 8x8. I poured too much and had to pull it off. I made a lot of mistakes, but it was my first time. And again, I knew I could goof up a lot on my first time because it's just for a fire pit. That being said, I'll let it continue to dry out. I probably won't burn on top of this maybe for about 30 days. So 27 more days, let it really cure up. I don't plan to do like the other YouTubers and drive a truck on top of it. Probably the heaviest thing that'll ever be on this is my riding lawnmower, which is about 700 pounds. You add me, probably 900 to 1,000 pounds with my weight and gas and so on and so forth. So that might be the heaviest thing that ever goes on top of this. That's it. Here it is. The process does work. If you good with concrete and great at your finishing, you'll probably have better results than me. But for a first time, I can't repeat it enough. For a first timer, can't repeat that enough. I'm happy. I'll say success.